Finally, we're here, and I'm ready to have this one-on-one.
Thank you so much for joining us, by the way, one-on-one with Matlamola Morake. And before we start, you've got so many titles. We'll try during the course of this
Yes.
chat to go into them deeper. But the first question I always ask my guest, who is Dumisani Chauke? Before all these titles were bestowed on her,
Humble girl.
she followed football and you followed netball.
Yes, I also did play football in primary school and in high school. However, it was never really a major passion of mine. So netball is the one that won. Actually, netball actually didn't even win. My first love is
Basketball.
basketball.
I saw that
Yay!
actually.
It's basketball. It still is, always will be. But netball is the code that actually opened doors for me. I was like, I think you got the wrong person. There's no way.
Probably looking for the wrong thing.
Yes, I'm like, are you sure? They're like, yes. Dumisani Chauke. They even showed me my picture. They showed me my bio. I'm like, there's a mistake. There's no ways. I've never heard of anyone coming from Malamulele or whatever, being approached by Laureus. But where did you get that? Where did you get that? Not a lot of people know I love cars. Mostly they'll know that I love sneakers. Sneakers and bags. But not a lot of people know that I love cars. Ooh, I love cars.
And when I saw your car, I realized that it's true. She does love cars.
Oh my gosh.
As we close,
I was always in the squad. Never made the team.
interesting.
Yes. So when you are always in the squad and you never make the team, it's very easy for you to walk away from the game and say, I never got what I wanted.
Hello and welcome to another edition of One-on-One with Matlamola Morake, the women's story. With this show, what we try to do is to profile the sporting personality behind the person. But not only that, we also look deeper into what makes them tick. Do they like fishing? Do they like cooking? What do they do after hours away from the boardroom, away from the netball courts? As the case with our guest, a lovely one indeed that I've been chasing for so long. Dumisani Chauke, a lady from Malamulele. Mana.
Hey,
Go on.
yes.
It's been such a long time, hoping that we'll meet, and finally here it is. It's happening.
Yeah, no, you've been chasing me quite a while. And I just had to squeeze you, and I'm like, yo, no, this one has been hanging for a while. Let's just get this over and done with, because Mahlomula will not trust me after this, because I keep postponing and postponing. But yeah, finally we're here, and I'm ready to have this one-on-one.
Thank you so much for joining us, by the way, one-on-one with Matlamola Morake. And before we start, you've got so many titles. We'll try during the course of this
Yes.
chat to go into them deeper. But the first question I always ask my guest, who is Dumisani Chauke? Before all these titles were bestowed on her, growing up from Malamulele, who's that?
Okay, well, before I answer that, I like to think of the different hats that I wear as roles that I played. There's a difference between a title and a role. A title is something that you get given and you just sit with it. I see myself in my different roles that I play as someone who adds value in that space. So it's a value adding position, and if a position does not give me the ability to add value or make change, you will find that most times I turn it down. However, Dumisani Chauke.
Before you get to that, in
Yes.
fact, that's quite a statement that you've just made. In fact, come
Absolutely.
to think of it, the roles that you are involved in, they all have you making a difference.
Absolutely.
I
I'm
mean,
very
we
picky.
can talk about those. We'll come back to Dumisani.
Yes. No, I'm very picky on, because, a lot of people, a lot of organizations just want association with the name, with the brand. And I'll always ask, what value am I adding to it? And I've once turned down an organization that just wanted to use my pictures and my name and have me attend events and take pictures. I said, but I'm not adding value. anyone that is coming and interacting with the organization or with me on that platform, I'm not adding value. I'm sorry, you can keep your paycheck. And yes, someone can say, I know you were very stupid for doing that, the money, the bag. I want to make a difference. I want to add value. And that is why the positions that we're probably going to talk about are all positions that I am in there and I am making a difference and I'm adding value. It's important to add value. Otherwise, why do it?
You don't want a situation where someone comes, drops t-shirts, and then leaves.
Yes, and then they take a picture and they smile and you go.
And they say, we in partnership with Dumisani.
No, I'm very picky.
So good to hear. So who's
Yes.
Dumisani Chauke?
Dumisani Chauke is a Tsonga girl who grew up in the small, still dusty township of Malamulele. I love that place. It created myself. It created Cassius Baloyi, and quite a
The boxer.
yeah, the
The
boxer.
ex-boxer.
Yep, the legendary Cassius Baloyi. Yeah, grew up in that small township. Didn't really have much growing up, but always had this desire to want to be greater than life. Yeah, I mean, when you grow up and you don't have much around you, you only rely on your imagination and what you get exposed to. And lucky enough, my parents had a TV at home. My dad was an avid, quite good football player, and that is where I grew up. I grew up next to a soccer field. Side note, that is where Joyce Chauke, Mama Joy.
Mama
also grew
Joy.
up. Yep. We are related, in case people are wondering. We are related. We
I've
both
seen pictures of the two of you together
Yes.
and on the socials.
yes. So we both grew up around the soccer pitch. So yeah, that's in a nutshell. Humble girl.
She followed football and you followed netball.
Yes, I also did play football in primary school and in high school. However, it was never really a major passion of mine. So netball is the one that won. Actually, netball actually didn't even win. My first love is basketball.
Basketball. I saw that
Yay!
actually.
It's basketball. It still is, always will be. But netball is the code that actually opened doors for me. It's part of the reason that most people do know me today. It gave me the platform, However, I'll never forget basketball. Basketball goes with me everywhere I go.
In fact, speaking of netball, you started when you were 10.
About 9. Yeah, so I played soccer, volleyball, tennis, and basketball. And then the day when I started playing netball, actually, there were one player short. So the teacher, Miss Matebula, was like, listen, so you play basketball. Can you come and help us? I'm like, netball? Why would I want to play netball? He's like, no, we just need you in the circle. You just stand there, put your hands in the air. We pass you the ball, you turn, you shoot. I'm like, yeah, can't dribble. You can't grab the ball out of people's hands. There's no backboard. How do you shoot? He's like, you make a plan. I played, we won, and I guess that was the beginning of why we're here today.
And speaking of that, looking at your height,
Mm-hmm.
did that play a role in you
Absolutely.
choosing either basketball or netball?
Absolutely. Even volleyball. I mean, all the sports that I played, volleyball, basketball, netball, I even did athletics as well. My height always gave me an advantage. And I think that is why sport became my safe haven. In a sense that, growing up being so tall, number one. Number two, having a boy's name. Number three, having a big voice. Obviously, you're going to be the target of kids bullying you.
I was gonna come
You
to
were
that
gonna come,
actually.
yeah. And at some point, I could have chosen the route where I was gonna shy away from the world
Be
and
an
hide all
accountant
of that.
somewhere in a corner.
Yes, and hide behind the screen or behind a book, behind a computer. But at some point, my height started working for me, and it was in sport. And I was like, but I can't change my height. Might as well own it. At some point, people were having problems with me when I do interviews on TV and radio and talking about my voice. And I'm like, but I can't change my voice. You are welcome to get up and change the channel. I'm not about to change it. And then came my name. I still get teased, people will be like, oh, Dumisani, I was expecting a guy. I'm like, why would you expect a guy? It's 2025, And like, no, but it's a boy's name. I said, says who?
Says who?
My grandmother, way back, 1980 something, I won't say the year, she didn't care whether it's a boy's name or a girl's name. She named me Dumisani, and that was the name that was registered. And I guess all three things are part of the reason that I think I stand out a lot. That's number one. Number two, unforgettable. You cannot forget a tall person with a
There's
big
no way.
voice and a boy's name.
In terms of the voice,
Yes.
don't you get calls and say, Mr. Chauke?
I get it all the time. Telemarketers, Even those that have all my detail will call and say, "Good day, Mr. Chauke." That's the first thing I'd say. "Sorry, ma'am. Please Google me so that you can see what I look like before you come and talk to me, so you can literally see that actually I'm talking to a female." But I correct them a lot. It's sometimes I just laugh or I let them carry on with the Mister. And next thing, if I need to pitch up for an appointment and it's a female, they're like, yeah, it's me.
So you grew up in Malamulele,
Yes.
and the next thing you find yourself in Polokwane. There's Capricorn
Yes.
High. There's what's the other primary that you went to?
I went to Flora Park
Flora
Comprehensive Primary
Park.
School. Yes.
And that's where your leadership qualities started showing.
Yeah, so the funny thing there, it was a brand new school, right? Everyone coming from all different, sides of South Africa, I guess, in Limpopo. Um, Brand new school, everyone is new, clean slate. And initially, when I got there, I had a bit of challenges in the school because they were like, "No, but you're coming from a small township of Malamulele. There's no ways your grades can be this good, and you going to grade 6."
Was there that challenge?
Yes, and I said, "What do you mean?" Maybe in their interpretation was that maybe the education from back there was substandard.
Was backwards.
So I said to them, "You're welcome to test me. I can write any test you want me to write right now. I'll probably even get better marks than I got there." So it was like your 60s, your 70s, and 80s. They couldn't believe it. I said, "I can write any test right now." So they were like, "No, no, no, it's fine. We don't have to do that. It's fine. You can go." I was like, "So why did you ask in the first place?" But anyways, couple of weeks in, they realized that, well, the school is new, there's no leadership, and they identified about 6 or 7 of us, and I was appointed as the first head girl of that school. Till this day, I don't know why me, but this Shangan girl that at first they were questioning her grades. I guess once I opened my mouth and started speaking the English from Malamule, they realized that actually she can speak English. She can converse, she can, argue and stand up for herself. And I guess that's when they're like, "Yo, this one, we can't control her. Maybe bring her onto our side." I became the head girl.
And do you think that appointment propelled you to where you are today, being appointed as the first head girl at the school?
Looking back, life usually makes sense in retrospect, right? Looking back, I always knew that there was something about me. Maybe I didn't see it, other people saw it. And I guess maybe like you're saying now, that's when it started. And I guess me standing up to the teachers there might have actually sparked them to think, "Ish, there's something here." Because a lot of times, if you don't speak up, or you don't stand up for yourself or others, you end up fading into the crowd and no one really notices you. But those that do know me, that move around with me in my circles, they know that I'm not one to shut down. I'm not one to keep quiet. When something is to be said, I will say it with my head held high. I'm not sure if it's a blessing or a curse, but I
But it
don't
works
know.
for you.
Guys, it's always just followed me, and I embrace it.
And after being head girl,
Yes.
you now excel in netball, and you were selected into the under 16.
Yes, so that's when I was in Capricorn. So also, I've always been younger in my grade, so I started school early. That's why maybe the school didn't understand how I can get such good marks. So passed grade 7, went over to Capricorn High School. That's when I then started playing my netball. Let me tell you a joke though, right? So here I am thinking I'm a superstar coming from Malamulele, going to Flora Park. I'm the head girl. Next thing I get to high school, they call for trials, under 14 trials on the notice board. I'm like,
Is that netball?
netball trials. I'm like, yes, I'm going to netball trials. Hey, I get there. There's like a whole lot of kids. Everybody's fighting for a spot like in the first team. Played trials. At the end of the day, guess which team I made?
E.
D for Dumisani. D. Under 14, D. I'm like, this don't make no sense. What do you mean
don't
under
belong
14?
here.
Under 14, D. But in case, needless to say, I worked pretty hard. By the end of the season, I was in the A team.
So at that point, you still shying away from basketball, or it's still
I did
there
pitch.
thereabouts?
So so they announced basketball training there. I get to training. I was the only girl, and they tell me, "No, basketball at the school is for boys." I'm like, "It's fine. I'll play with the boys."
Okay.
They're like, "No,
Confidence.
the girls play netball." I'm like, "Yes, I play both." Like, "We don't have basketball for girls." I said, "Yes, I'll play with the boys." So I'd play a couple of pickup games before netball practice and then go play netball. After netball, go back to the basketball and play with the boys.
You're very busy.
Gotta keep busy. An idle mind is the devil's playground.
Absolutely. You find yourself now, years later, in the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
How did you get there?
Eastern Cape. So this is the beauty and the power of sport,
That
which
was
I
before
tried
it was
to.
called Gqeberha, right?
Gqeberha, yes, Port Elizabeth.
Mm.
So under 17, under 16, and 17, Rustenburg, 2003, I met a lady called Teresa Leroux. We're still close till this day. She was the netball manager at PE Technicon back then. Yes,
Pentec.
yes. And she was like, listen, we've been following you. We'd like to offer you a bursary to come down to PE, come play for us. This is what the bursary entails. Are you interested? And I'm like, yo, PE is so far. That's number one. Number two, I'd never been there. What language do they even speak there? Like, I'm used to your Xitsonga, Sepedi, Shivenda, here in Joburg, Zulu, a bit of, Swati people coming from Mpumalanga. Now I must speak Xhosa. Where do I start?
Uzaqalaphi?
Hey, needless to say, I signed on with PE Tech. Went down to PE for the first time. I landed there. It was so hot and windy. I'll never forget that day. Oh my gosh. But yeah, landed, went to Res, and went straight to my first netball practice. Never looked back. I stayed in PE for 12 years.
In fact, that's where things really started happening for you, not ball-wise, in the Eastern Cape.
Yes.
Because you...
The Dream Stream studio in Randburg is a full-service studio on Bromfisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcast, music recordings, and general video recordings. Backed up by an experienced editing and production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything will get done as you require. Our mobile gear ensures we can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. We got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact us now, studio@dreamstream.co.za, and we'll make it happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
You're a coach, you're a player,
Administrator.
So, fill us in.
Okay, so I played netball for PE Tech, which then later became Nelson Mandela University. Played for them. I played for Nelson Mandela Bay. I played for Eastern Cape. And then when I think we used to have it, what is it, NSL or NGL or what, like, which now became Brutal Fruit, then became TNL. So I played for the Eastern Cape teams. Also coached the Madibas team. Started with the juniors, graduated slowly. Eventually went up to the first team. Coached Nelson Mandela Bay as well. Was captain of the Eastern Cape Alus when we played TNL 2014-2015, and that's when also my coaching started as well. So I always tell people that I am an administrator by profession. I studied sport management. That's what I do. I am a netball coach and a philanthropist by passion. So the two actually go hand in hand. And I think I'm one of the people that have found a way to make it work because they influence each other. They have to go hand in hand. Decisions made in the boardroom affect what happens on the court. And if you are simply maybe just on one side of the coin, how do you implement what is being discussed and decided upon in the boardroom? So for some reason, for me, it worked.
You also hold a master's.
Yes, it's called, okay.
You did not complete it.
Did not complete my master's. Let me tell you, so there's a lesson in this one, right? So I started my master's in 2020, right? So the plan was to take 3 years and have it done by 2023 when the World Cup hit. Supervisors up and down, delays and whatnot. And I kept panicking because I knew 2 years down the line, I'm not going to finish this thing. I'm an overthinker, one. Number two, I plan ahead. Two, I'm like, I'm not going to finish this thing. This year of delays it's going to mess up my timing and my timelines. Get into my second year, now I have to change supervisors because that other supervisor was delaying me. Another process as well, which took forever. Come 2023, February, I think we were out in Australia about to play a couple of friendly games. I needed to submit something to my supervisors. So they call me. I've just landed in Australia. They call me, listen, I need something by Friday. I said, let me tell you something. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
She says, what do you mean? To me, we need to finish this thing. I said, I
just
know
be honest.
we are close to the finish line, but I do not have at that point, I had to be brutally honest with myself. The pressure of the World Cup was building. I did not have the mental, physical, or emotional capacity to deal with work, deal with World Cup and netball, deal with academics, and deal with life.
All at the same time.
One of them had to go. One of them had to go. World Cup was here. I couldn't let that go. Work, that's my work. That's my job. I couldn't let that go. Life, can't let life go.
Life is life.
Studies had to go. And I told my supervisor, I don't think I'm going to continue. She said, there's no ways. You're almost done. I said, according to me, again, remember, life happens while we make our own plans, right?
Yes.
According to me, I'm supposed to have been done by now, and I'm not. And I'm not going to frustrate myself and put myself under unnecessary pressure. I'm sorry, I'm going to have to put my studies on hold. No, let's try and talk. And I said, I will not be able to if it's not done now. It's not going to be done. So it was a hard decision to make because I'd worked so hard at my master's in marketing. I was almost there. Like I can even still see the work. I still have the work on my personal laptop. But I had to let it go. It's one of the things that as a human being, you can let it go and pick up later. The other stuff.
Is that the plan?
That's the plan because now I'm back. I'm registered again. I'm with the business school now though. It's hectic. Oh my gosh. We have classes every Saturday from 7 o'clock until 2:30.
And isn't there any netball there on a Saturday morning?
Nah. So for now, we don't have netball. We don't have much netball. It's still pre-season. We haven't started with the leagues, but the leagues usually play in the week. Yep. So
Yes.
it's so like I said, I'm an overthinker and I plan things 2-3 years ahead. So I've already thought about it. I do know which are the days that I won't be able to be in class because also in class I'm only allowed to miss 2 lessons.
Oh my word.
I have to attend 80% of the classes, otherwise I can't even write the exam. So those are some of the things I have to negotiate with amongst all the other things that I do, which is academics.
Speaking of academics, education appears to be very important to you.
Absolutely. Education is important. Although we can look in the world today in society, right? The people, sometimes you'll realize that people that do have the money did not necessarily go to school.
Yeah.
It worked out for them. For me, education is a platform for me to empower and capacitate myself for where I want to go. So I don't see myself being an HOD of sport at TUT for the rest of my life. Obviously, I want to climb the ladder and go somewhere else. But for me, to be ready when that opportunity comes, I need to have the knowledge, have the skills, and have the acumen to be able to function on that level. And that is why, for me personally, I don't force education on anyone. But for me personally, I take education serious because it helps me improve on what I already have.
But I hear you saying you don't force it on anyone, but in your dealings with your various roles,
Yes.
do you try and instill, do you try and advise, especially the young ones, about education?
I advise in a cheeky way, right? I advise in the sense that, listen, so you want to play netball. I have the means to pay for your education. Use me to get an education. You play netball, I pay for your studies. I get you to play netball for me. You get a qualification that I can't take away from you. That's all.
Which is the same case as in football.
Yes.
You look at several Banyana players, they've got degrees.
Yes. Yes.
Football.
So that's what you want to advocate for. That yes, we want to play the sport. Yes, play the sport, but get something out of it. We can't really make a full-time living through salaries, especially as women, right? But make it work for you. Get an education while you're at it. You're gonna keep playing your sport. You're gonna represent your country. I pay for your studies. At the end of 3, 4, 5 years, you've got that paper. You're empowered. It's yours. It's in your name.
And maybe you're in the national team. Who knows?
Still in the national team. So you win both sides. That's it.
Your role at TUT, head of sport, do you focus on basketball and netball only, or is it the entire?
So remember, TUT is a multi-campus institution, right?
You're in Garankuwa, right?
Yeah, so I'm in Garankuwa. So we've got Pretoria campus, Soshanguve campus, Garankuwa campus, Polokwane, Emalahleni, as well as Mbombela campus. We have, so the structure is that we have a director and then we have HODs. and then the HODs then are responsible for the campuses. So in actual fact, in other institutions, that would be a director. However, all of us then report to one director. So I'm the HOD of sport at Garangwa campus. This year, I'm also responsible for Mbombela campus. So what I do, I am the accounting officer for all the
Basically,
sporting,
yes.
for all the sporting activities at Garangwa campus as well as Mbombela campus. So I facilitate, empower, capacitate the staff members that are, that I'm responsible for, to be able to organize activities, implement programs and projects for us to create sporting activities and recreation activities for the students on our campuses.
And for TUT, there's Varsity Cup, there's USA. You're not really up there with the rest. Does that fall on you?
No, it can't follow me. What did I do?
You're the head.
I'm not the head. There's two other heads. There's three. There's two other. Well, with three HODs. However, so let me tell you something about varsity, right? So initially, when I got recruited from Port Elizabeth, I was working at the Eastern Cape Academy of Sport. I got recruited to come down to TUT to help, with their netball program, and the mandate was to get the netball team to varsity, right? I'm like, okay, no problem. That's not an issue. So we worked pretty hard, 2016, 2017. 2018, we qualified to play varsity. And 2019, we were back in varsity. We played. Unfortunately, with all of that, changes came. I was no longer involved in the program. Got the promotion. Well, COVID came also. Got the promotion, and now in management, and for some reason I couldn't coach. So yeah, I don't want to say too much, but couldn't coach. So I can't really take accountability for that.
Okay.
But we are busy with a turnaround strategy to ensure that we get back up there. So we've had a few changes internally to ensure that our netball becomes competitive again. But also it becomes a challenge when you are a multi-campus institution, because most institutions, just have that one campus. So if it was TUT Garangwa on their own, it would be easier to manage, in the sense that the players are there, the resources are there, constantly in touch and in contact with the players on a daily basis. Where you find that, there's players in Pretoria, players in Garangwa and Soshanguve, some players are based in Mbombela. Team dynamics, training, it becomes a challenge. Hence, I said we do have a turnaround strategy. Give us about 4 years.
Okay.
Yeah, doable.
I'll hold you to that.
4 years is a long time.
It's a very long time.
Yes.
Your foundation,
Yes.
the Dumisani Chauke Netball Foundation. Why did you start it, and what does it mean to you?
So initially, I would do the projects that I'm doing with the foundation like on an ad hoc basis, right? So I'd get random schools calling me, asking me to come and do either a netball clinic or just come and talk to the girls, motivate the girls, come and talk to our prefects, give them a few tips on leadership and stuff like that, And I remember in 2016, we were in Botswana with the SA under 21s. For some reason, I started telling all the girls to collect, the little bars of soap that you get. Yeah, so the bars of soap, the lotion, and the shower gels. I said, every day, these things are paid for. If you don't use it, it stays there the entire week. Let's collect them. We'll find someone to give it to, right? Collected those every single day. We'll just put it in a bag, put it in a bag, put it in a bag. That was 2016. Came back. There's a school very close to my heart, Modilati Secondary School in Stinkwater, Hammanskraal. So I decided, okay, it's August. I'm gonna give these things to these girls, right? I was busy with an interview, one of your colleagues from another broadcaster. So right there on the spot, he's like, so where to from here? What are you doing with this? Because you're constantly doing this project on an ad hoc basis. So what are you going to do about it? And then I was like, I don't know. He's like, well, you need to start a foundation. I'm like, why would I do that? It's so much work. He says, no, you need to document what you're doing. It's important, so you need to streamline it and document it. I was like, okay, it's a lot of work. So the first project was I had a battle with myself, right? I didn't want a name that was attached to me. At first.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't want it because remember, in business, it can go two ways.
Oh, yeah.
You either get a yes from someone because it's you,
Because it's you.
or you get a
No,
no from
because it's you.
someone because it's you. So eventually I was just like, listen, I don't have a choice but to put my name on this thing because of the accountability part
And
of
it's
it.
your name. You can't change it.
That's the thing. So now it's got my name attached to it, which means I really have to make it work. And I think that's what actually forced me to take it quite serious and use it as an empowerment tool, as a life-changing tool that it is today. And it's one of the things very dear to me. Sometimes I'm not able to do everything that I want to do because of resource constraints and stuff like that. But it's something that I'm not willing to let go because of the change that we've already made in different lives through the foundation.
I was actually going to come to that. Looking back, do you feel you've made a huge difference, or even just
A difference. I think so. The reason I say that is oftentimes, people will inbox me and they'll say, I met you. They'll even send a picture. They'll be like, oh no, I met you in 2017. You came to my school and you were talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Thank you for encouraging me. I was ready to give up on my academics. Now I'm a graduate. I'm working, stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, is that the impact that we are having? So it's quite humbling, for someone to even have a picture and still remember exactly what you said. I don't even remember what I said yesterday. More than 7 years ago, they remember, like, what?
And through your foundation, you received an award in 2018.
Yes, I was not even in the country. Yeah.
The award-winning Dumisani Chauke.
Award-winning Dumisani Chauke. Never thought I'd see the day. So I was out in Botswana with the SC under-20s. We're busy playing Region 5 games. We're about to play the final. I think we just played the final. So Nosi Puyokoda. I used to play netball with her. She also plays rugby. She calls me via WhatsApp because she was at the awards. They were in East London. And she starts screaming and she's crying. I'm like, oh, what's wrong? What's going on? She's like, no, you won. I'm like, what did I win? I knew I was nominated, but I didn't know I was a finalist. Right. He's like, no, you won. I'm like, what did I win? The presidential award. I'm like, what? I was only nominated for sport and I went to win a presidential award. What do you mean?
believe it?
Yeah. Next thing I'm seeing, I'm being tagged on posts on social media because I was coaching, so my phone was off. Abonomzamo Mbata, all these people tagging this Tsonga girl from Malamulele who's not even at the awards and she won a presidential award. I was like, oh my God, what is this? But yeah, I think that was just confirmation to say that the work that we're doing, the work that we do in communities, it doesn't go unseen. It doesn't go unseen. And I think it's part of the reasons that I always want to go over and above, for someone else over and over again. I mean, the other day, I'm talking to this kid from Louis Trichat. I forgot her name. She's looking for a pair of Tekis. So I'm going around trying to find a size 6. So for her, netball is everything. Mm-hmm. And the only person she could think of to ask for netball shoes is me. I don't know if there are no people that can help her with shoes in Louis Trichat or in Limpopo, but she's like, Dumisani, you must help me. So I'm trying to find this
And you're talking
girl.
on socials,
On socials. I do respond to people on socials, Shem. When I do have time. Like important stuff like that. Like that was like a kid that's asking me for netball shoes. I had to respond.
And did she eventually get them?
It was just on Sunday. Give me a chance. Okay. I'm trying. The one that I found is a size 8. It won't work. Another one I found is a size 7. So I need to find a size 6. She's a size 6.
USA Netball, Laureus Foundation, Pep Mini Netball.
Yes.
Tell us about those.
USA Netball. I am the chairperson of USA Netball. I'm the chairperson of USA Netball. University Sports South Africa.
Yes, and how crucial...
I wanted to say something else, but it's fine.
How crucial of a role is that, especially with your role at TUT?
No, it's very important because we represent the voice of the students and the institutions when it comes to Netball South Africa Matters. So they come through us. And it's important to have a voice. Not only to have a voice, but to be able to use it. So ours is to advocate and speak and ensure that we safeguard the activities of the thousands and thousands of university students registered to play netball in South Africa. It's a huge responsibility.
I can imagine.
Yeah, it's massive.
And the Laureus Foundation?
Laureus Sport
that's
for
huge.
Good. Yeah, Laureus is a huge platform, sure. So when I was asked if I would be available for Laureus, at first I was like, I think you got the wrong person. There's no way.
Probably looking for the wrong thing.
Yes, I'm like, are you sure? They're like, yes. Dumisani Chauke, they even showed me my picture. They're like, they showed me my bio. I'm like, there's a mistake. There's no ways. I've never heard of anyone coming from Malamulele or whatever, being approached by Laureus. But it was a humbling experience again, in the sense that they were realizing and recognizing the work that I do, which is using sport to change lives, because that's what we do at Laureus. We advocate for sports activities, programs, projects that can be used to change the lives of young people in rural, disadvantaged, even in the cities, just to keep our kids busy and safe in sport. So, man, I can't put to words what happens at Laureus. I mean, even when we come together, we're coming together now in March for the Ambassadors Summit,
And tell us about some of those ambassadors.
Oh, there's some big names there, ne? That's why I was like, are you sure you got the right person? There's no ways. I mean, here you deal with your Brian Habana. Brian Habana is a world rugby Ndondon icon, what. We've got Skalkberger. You've got Jean de Villiers. Now we've got Mutsidisi that came on, who's a superstar in her own right as a journalist.
Yeah. You've got Desiree Ellis, right?
We've got Desiree Ellis. Guys. Who else? Who am I missing? We've got Sarah Kumalo.
Yes.
Mount Everest. We have...
Andile Dlamini.
Who's Dumisani? Amongst those people, who's Dumisani Chauke? Yeah, no, so when Akani
Yes.
is one of us. Wade is one of us. I'm just trying to remember everyone now. It's just escaping my head. Yeah, but it's you go to a Laureus meeting or summit, ne? And you just get reminded of the magnitude of the work that we are doing through sport. Like you sit at a table, ne, and I'm just like, sometimes I sit there and I'm like, do I even fit here? Like, yeah, but I'm here. I feed. I'm like, I feed. This is me. This is my chair. But sometimes it's like, do you recognize the names that you're sitting next to? But you know what? It's important as well not to get such things to get into your head. Otherwise, you lose sight of what you're doing. And I think sometimes I'm grateful I feel like that, because it keeps me grounded. It reminds me all the time to stay true to myself. Yeah.
Speaking of being grounded,
Yeah.
you've got the Pep Mini netball, which is very dear to your heart.
Love it with everything in me.
And this is about
yes,
the little ones.
So Pep, when they started 3 years ago, ne, at first we were not too sure how the program was going to pan out. It was only 3 provinces, and I said to them, as long as I add a difference and I'm adding value to the program and to the kids that I'm going to interact with and the coaches and their parents, I'm here to stay, And last year it expanded to 3 more provinces, and this year we are going even bigger. And I just keep telling them it's one of the most fulfilling commercial programs I've ever worked on, because it doesn't touch on the superstars. We're teaching them while they're there.
Grassroots level.
Yes, we're teaching them there while they are 7 years old, 8 years old, 9 years old, because there it's not about the wins. You want them to have fun. You want them to fall in love with the sport.
Basically planting a seed.
You're planting a seed, and you tell them, if you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can end up there. And it becomes real for them, because they see me on TV, or they'll see me on YouTube, or their parents will tell them a story about me, or where they watched me play and whatnot. And when they now get to interact with me in person, their dream becomes real. I was humbled last year. I met a couple of 10-year-olds. Hey guys, 10-year-olds can talk. A couple of 10-year-olds. We had a mini netball festival in Wonder Park. Wonder Park, somewhere in Pretoria North. I can't remember the exact place, sorry. These kids, they knew everything about me. They're like, so how was it growing up in Malamulele? I'm like, how do you know that? They're like, no, our teachers told us about you. We know about you. And then they're like, yeah, and then you played here, and you played this, and you played this position and this. I also want to play that position. I also want to do this. I'm like, so this is the actual reality for them. Remember, I always say on my socials, and I always post, there was a day I posted, Coach, what's her name? Coach Sid Carter. She's a basketball coach in America, right? So she's got a huge following and a huge presence on social media, and she doesn't dress in the traditional coach attire. She dresses in her own style, and kids and other coaches are catching on to that. And there was a picture that someone posted with Sid and a young kid, sort of like dressed like her, and I reposted that and I said, they cannot be what they cannot see. Yes. So for
Which
me,
makes perfect sense.
yes. So for me to be working with Pep, those kids cannot dream to get there if they don't see it. Our kids cannot become what they do not see. So it's important for us. Yes, they'll see us on TV and all that stuff. It's important to go there, be in the sun with them, burn in the sun, sweat in the sun, so that their dreams become reality. To say, oh no, she came to my school, she spoke to me. Some of the kids, for some reason, fall in love with my car. Like, oh, I want your car. I'm like, sweetie, it's netball. That's it.
Through netball.
Through netball. I got my education through netball. I played. I work now in sport as well. So it can happen. If it happened for me, it can happen for you.
You spoke about Coach Sid and her dress.
Yes.
And I've seen you several times. You're always snazzy, you're always looking good, you're always on point. Is it conscious? Why is that? What does it mean? What does it do to you?
It's intentional because what in my head is like someone could be meeting me for the first time. And they need to realize that I take myself serious. I take how I present myself serious. It's mostly, like even today, it's comfortable, but I find a way to put it together in a way that makes sense to me. Comfortable, but still in a way stylish. I don't even know if I can say stylish, but for me it's comfortable.
I think you're stylish, but it's okay.
Yeah, but mostly it's me expressing myself through my dress. There are days where I feel like wearing heels and going full glam. I'll do that. And there are days where I'll be more dressed down. And there are days where I feel like a hobo. And I will dress like a hobo because that day that's how I'm feeling and that's how I want to express myself. Clothing gives us an opportunity to express ourselves. That's all it is.
And then let's go back to the national team.
Yes.
Did you enjoy your time as a player before we get to the managerial, the assistant coach? As a player?
As a player, the pressure was real, right? So here's my reality. I was always in the squad. Never made the team.
Interesting.
Yes. So when you are always in the squad and you never make the team, it's very easy for you to walk away from the game and say, I never got what I wanted. I don't know why I stayed. But I stayed. I always made the squad. Always made the
And you
squad.
were there for a long time.
For a long time. Always made the squad. Never made the final team. Disappointing at most. And sometimes you almost become complacent in the sense that, I'm in the squad just to add numbers. But for some reason, I kept going back.
Did that somehow perhaps help you when you retired and you went into coaching or being a manager?
I think so in a way because experience can never be wasted. It's also character building to be able to stay in a difficult position like that where you want something so bad but it's not coming yet, you're not giving up on it. The coaching part, I already started coaching when I was still a player. So it was just the fact of saying, okay, maybe this one is not going to work out. Let's transition. And then we just transitioned into now full-time
And how was that
coaching.
transition?
At first it was hard because I always, it was always easy to balance being a player coach. You're on the field, you can feel the heat, you are able to give immediate feedback right there because of how you're feeling, you are in there yourself. And now, having been on the other side, now you are the accounting officer for the performance of what's happening on court. At first, you sort of like, feel like an imposter in a sense that, do I really know what I'm saying? Does it really make sense? But as time goes, the confidence grew, and I was like, yeah, but I know what I'm talking about.
do this.
I've played this game. I've played this game for so long. And the nice thing is, before I even got to the national side, I was with Madivas. I was coaching the first team at Madivas 2014 and 2015. So it became easy. I think my transition was quite easy, actually.
As a player and in the national team, what stood out for you what moment stood out for you, if anything, as a player?
Let me see. I think as a player, not necessarily in the national team, Spa national champs
Okay.
in 2009. I was still a youngster. I played for the A team, Nelson Mandela Bay, Eastern Province actually, in PE, home ground. All our teams won gold that year. A team, B team, C team. And then we played a nail biting final against Borland, and we won that game. I got the award for goal shooter of the tournament, and I think the other players in the team as well. I think was it Mampo or Nontle or Zanele also got awards. So everyone in our team got an award that year. We won the champs. That was my first time winning the national championships with Eastern Province, and then again in
The Dream Stream studio in Randburg is a full-service studio on Bromfisher Drive. It's perfectly suited for podcast, music recordings, and general video recordings. Backed up by an experienced editing and production team means you can walk in, record, and walk out knowing that everything will get done as you require. Our mobile gear ensures we can cover your video and live streaming needs on location too. We got the cameras, the lights, and the action to make you and your brand shine. Contact us now, studio@dreamstream.co.za, and we'll make it happen. Dreamstream, a place to create yourself.
2013, so I got injured. In 2010, I had an op. I did my rehab, came back. 2012, I had my son. And then 2013, I was back on the netball court. Back in the Eastern Province team. We were out in Rustenburg. I remember coming back, because I didn't play for 2 years. I remember coming back. I had nothing to lose. Absolutely nothing to lose. And I was playing goal attack.
Mm-hmm.
Tall, skinny, goal attack. Not the fastest, but I think that year, one thing that I enjoyed the most was the confidence that I had. I had in myself, in my body, in my shot. I mean, I'll just jump into the circle, just look back to see where the line was, if I was legal. Take the ball, I'll just shoot and walk away.
Yeah.
I knew
You
it
knew
was
it's
in.
gonna in.
I enjoyed that tournament. And also there in 2013, I got goal shooter of the tournament. And here's the scary part, right? With a shooting average for the whole week at about 93, 94
93, 94.
for the week
That's massive.
on goal attack, right? Come the dinner that Friday, I'm not even in the national squad.
That must have been heartbreaking.
I was just like, really? Like you get so used to it. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
Let's move on.
Yeah, life goes on, and I think I've sort of taught myself to say if something doesn't go the way that maybe I planned for it to go, it's okay. We can always move to the left and we keep it moving. That's exactly what I did.
Being appointed being appointed to the national team as an assistant coach, how special? How did it come about?
First was in December 2015. Couple of months after I announced my retirement from playing. So the call came from Netball South Africa saying, listen, we've watched the work that you've been doing in the Eastern Cape. We've watched the work you're doing with Madibas. As one of our esteemed coaches or players, / player coach or someone coming through in coaching, you've done so much already with the under-19s, under-21s in Eastern Province. Would you be available? Would you make yourself available to be assistant coach for the SA under-21s? At first, I was like, are you sure you got the right number?
Again, you're asking yourself.
I'm like, are you sure you got the right number? They're like, yeah, do me. I'm like, call me again. Hung up, and they called again. They're like, it's not a mistake. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's fine. Let's do it. Just like that. I was like, okay, that's fine. Let's do it. What does it entail? You got to travel with, come up, training camps, travel to tournaments, select training camps. Back then, under-21s still don't have a massive program. So it's event or tournament based. So that's where it started, December 2015. 2019, I took a break from netball. I had my daughter. And that's when, because 2017, I had put in my application when they advertised for coaches as well. I did apply, didn't get it. And then 2019, after the World Cup, and around September, I got the call to say, we've reviewed your application. We are opening up spots, so we would like to appoint new coaches for the team. Are you still interested? I was like, okay, let's go.
It's okay.
Looked myself in the mirror and I'm like, you're from Malamulele. Do you know that? Do you know what you're putting yourself into? And I said, yes, let's do it. And we did.
How special was it?
I always say to people, my first time singing Nkosi Sikelel, I was 15 years old in Mozambique, playing for SA under 16. We won gold. I don't think any moment will ever take away from that moment in Mozambique. Out in the blistering sun, singing Nkosi Sikelel for the first time. But now, for me, it was interesting. So for the first time, so our first installment was out in Cape Town. I think we played a series in Cape Town. Singing Nkosi Sikelel for the first time on South African soil in the green and gold as a national coach. I'll never forget. I can't put it into words, but it's a different feeling. Yeah. And for me, I just thought to myself, all those years I was in a squad and never really made the team.
And it didn't feel like this, but now here I am as a coach, and it feels different.
It feels different. It feels different in a way that now, remember, as a player, it's easy for you to just pitch up and play. Yes, you'll get feedback from the coach, but as a coach, accountability and responsibility is on level 100.
A lot on our shoulders.
Level 100. And I just thought to myself, maybe me staying there in that fire, not getting what I'd always wanted to get, was preparing me and broadening my shoulders to be able to shoulder the responsibility that comes with what happens there.
Fast forward, you were touted to be the I hope touted is the correct word.
English
to be the next head coach.
Yeah.
After Norma Plummer was gonna go, but things happened.
It's life. So I just feel, like I said previously, in life, we always plan and want things to go our way. And sometimes when they don't go our way, you've got two choices. You either sit there, be sad about it, because there's also nothing you can do about it, or you pivot. If you do not create avenues for yourself to always have an option out, you're going to feel stuck. So, yes, I did put my name up to say, and also applied. I put in an application, attended interviews because I wanted it. For me, it was a step up. If you've noticed, I'm very ambitious.
I have.
Sometimes it's dangerous for my own good, but I'm someone who's always looking to improve and go up. You can't get comfortable on one level. Then you're not growing anymore. You're becoming stagnant. So
always looking for challenges.
Yes. So I did put my name in, and unfortunately, I didn't get the post. At first, I was disappointed. Of course, it's natural. It's human. I was disappointed. I was hurt, and I was like, this netball thing, I don't think it's working for me anymore. And then I had to deal with myself. I had to get into my shell and deal with myself, process the feelings of hurt and disappointment. Ask myself, say, okay, it didn't go the way you wanted, but you've got opportunities to do something else. And I think for me, I've taught myself from a young age to self-regulate. So once I was done with the self-regulation, right? I reached out to the two coaches. I still chat to them even this day, and I congratulated them. I said, listen, I apologize for being quiet for so long. I needed to regulate myself. I was hurt, I was disappointed, but congratulations on the post. I know you're going to do a great job, and I think the Federation made a good decision for the country, and it's good. And
you're genuine.
Yeah, and I was like, and I wish you all the best. I mean, even now, just now, we've just played a brilliant international series. I sent both coaches a message and said, listen, you're doing a brilliant job. Well done with the girls. And I think for me to get to that level, it takes a lot of emotional maturity, and it takes me being able to accept things that don't always go my way. But I've put myself in a situation where I can pivot anytime. If this doesn't go right, I can go there. I can go somewhere else. So what I'm doing now is mostly focusing on the administration side of things. Yes, I love coaching. I still coach now and then. I'm hosting a coaching clinic one of these coming days for a friend out one of the expensive schools here, fancy schools here in Chauke. Don't want to say names.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm still a coach by passion. I'm an administrator by profession. So yeah, it did hurt, but I'm fine now. I'm good.
You've moved on.
Yeah, and I've moved on. It's something that obviously everyone aspires to. If you do not aspire to move up in life, then there's a problem.
Family. How
Yes.
important is family to you? You spoke about your son and
Yes.
your daughter.
Yes.
How important is family to you because of your busy job?
Yes. One thing that people that are close to me know is that my most fulfilling role is being a mother. So yes, I'm mostly on the road, in class, at work, in offices, but one of the most fulfilling things I get to do is to be at home and take my kids to their sporting events. Um, and they know once I get home, I'm not leaving. I love my house. I love my home. I love my space. I love everything in my house. Don't make me get out. I will not.
You still cook?
Love cooking. I make my kids lunch for school every single day at 5:45 in the morning. I make their lunch myself and I pack it. So I cook in the evenings. Sometimes they decide what they want to eat and I make it. Sometimes I decide what we're eating and I cook. I cook every Sunday. It's important. I cook every Sunday. Yeah, I love food. You can't love food and not love cooking.
I love cooking.
Hey,
definitely.
man. Yeah, so I love food. I love cooking. I enjoy it. I have a mini garden, so I enjoy gardening. I have a sewing machine. Sometimes when I'm bored and I want to get away from the
Unwind.
world, just take my sewing machine out and I do something.
And you're one of 3 daughters.
Yeah, bo.
You're the middle one.
Middle child. Middle child syndrome. That's why I'm so hyper independent. Come on.
And how do you get along with your siblings?
My siblings are cool. They're quite good. They're very supportive, especially of my sport as well. Both my sisters, they're pretty good. They were also athletes, but I used to fear for them in the sense that they would all get compared to me, which was not a good thing. Especially for my little sister that came after me that also went to Capricorn. The coaches, they would put so much pressure on her and be like your sister, be like your sister. And I'm like, she's not me. Don't do that. I mean, my nieces, they're getting the same treatment now. I have one of my nieces, she's almost my height and she plays goal shooter. And for some reason, the teachers and coaches found out that she's my niece. And I said to her, it's a blessing and a curse at the same time. It's a blessing because they realize that, they're in the genes from the family, you've got some netball, some athletic ability. However, some of them tend to be, a bit negative because your aunt, or they'll be like, but why can't you jump like your aunt? Why can't you shoot like your aunt? And I tell them, but she's not me.
not, yeah.
So sometimes when it gets too much, she tells me, and then I go to the school. I don't even say anything. I just park my car and I stand there, watch her play netball, and then I'll tell her, good. And I'll tell her, no, don't do that, no, not. After that, I leave, and then she'll tell me, "No, they didn't shout at me today." I'm like, they must know if they shout at you again, I'm not going to say anything, but I'm coming.
I have to ask you this one. It's a very, very personal.
Yeah.
And you're free not to respond.
Not to answer.
Yeah.
Ooh. I hope it's not controversial, but I don't
hope
run
not.
away from controversy.
A
So let's
few
hear it.
years ago on
Yes.
Facebook,
Yeah.
you posted a photo of your
Ring.
ring.
Yes.
And how did that go? Where are we?
Life happens. Life happens. Yeah, so that did not work out. Sometimes I just feel like we talk empowerment, we talk independence and all that stuff, and we don't necessarily educate or help the other gender to keep up with women that are independent, women that are leaders, women that have a voice and know how to use it. It was not a bad ending. It was a mutual agreement to say, listen, it's not going to
not
work.
working.
It's not going to work. It's fine. We're still good friends. But yeah, life goes on.
And what advice or message do you have from that?
L- l- life happens. Life happens. Do what's best for you as long as it doesn't harm anyone else. Life happens, and we'll keep it moving until the day comes when you must go and meet your maker.
Woo, as we wrap up,
Mm-hmm.
do you even have a spare time? What do you do in your spare time?
Spare time. Spare time, I'm at home in front of the TV catching up on NBA games. Or I watch football, whether it's EPL or Betway. What else do I do? Go check on the flowers or the vegetables in my garden. Or I play with my kids outside. My son plays basketball, so sometimes we'll play basketball outside. Yeah,
Any role models?
role models. Not really. I have mentors, not role models.
Some you can mention?
Yeah, so my career mentor, I've got Ndambi.
Oh,
Dambi
Ndambi Ravele,
Ravele.
yes.
Yes, she's my career mentor. She's
love
very good.
attributes.
Yes. We had our meeting last week, touching base. So every single year, twice a year, we touch base in the beginning and halfway through, just to make sure that I'm still keeping with my objectives and I'm working towards what I want to achieve. So she also keeps me in line, also tells me, I saw that, don't do that. And then I get back in line. You need someone like that,
Yep.
actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so she's one of my mentors, and someone that I've always had as a netball mentor is Lana Krige. Lana was my coach down in Port Elizabeth. We're still close till this day, so she's pretty special to me. In the sense that, sometimes we don't even talk netball, we talk life. So as a coach, you're not only just the coach on the court, you're a coach of life, actually, by the way. So I talk a lot with her. And then someone that, recently, I think about since 2017, when I met her physically for the first time, since 2017, that I bounced things off, funny enough, is Norma Plummer.
Oh, wow.
So even before I coached with her in 2022, 2017, when I met her for the first time, we started getting along, and she would text me or call me. I'd ask her for advice or ask her for, her opinion on certain things. So we're still close even now.
Love for fast cars and music.
Cars. Oh my
Fast
God.
cars and music.
Yeah, I love cars. I don't know what it is with cars. Cars make me happy. Yo, cars make me happy. Unapologetically so. Like, I love cars. I love big engines. I love fast, loud. Yeah, cars. Oh, cars make me happy. Yo.
And they must be fast.
It must be fast. It must chow petrol. If it doesn't chow petrol, it's too nice. It's too easy. Yo, cars. Where did you get that? Where did you get that? Not a lot of people know I love cars. Mostly they'll know that I love sneakers. Sneakers and bags. But not a lot of people know that I love cars. Ooh, I love cars.
And when I saw your car, I realized that it's true. She does love cars.
Oh my gosh.
As we close, look into that camera, please,
Yes.
and speak to that girl child out there. And just encourage her.
Yes. Alrighty, so whoever you are listening from wherever you are, take it from me. The world is your oyster. Anything is possible. You do not allow people to put their limits on you. Do not allow people to put their ceilings on you. If you build enough courage, build enough good habits, build enough or strong enough work ethic, and you are able to work towards your goals, your dreams, your aspirations, no one can stop you.
How time flies when you're having fun.
Talking fast cars.
Talking about cars. Well, that was our guest, Dumisani Chauke, all the way from Malamulele, to join us here on One-on-One with Matlamala Morake, the women's sport. From me, that's all we had time for. Sesi, nakenza shnene.
Shinene.
Shinene.
Ay, nikensile na mina.
Thank you so much for being here. And I hope to see you soon. I hope this was the first of many to come.
Something
And thanks
brewing.
for all the info, all what you gave us. Really enjoyed it.
Nah, you're
really enjoyed
welcome.
myself. Yeah.
That book will come soon.
I hope you watching gonna enjoy this. And from me, Matlamula Morake, it's a bye bye.